answer explanations. So part of the question is, how could we arrive at this point, being what we are and how we are, if Darwinian evolution is true? The question is, how do you get life from non-life? How does the left produce the right? And let me just highlight a couple of these issues. You have to be able to determine, like we talked about, where the origin of life occurred. And so up to this point, there has been no non-biblical consensus. At first, they were thinking, well, maybe everything originated in space. That didn't turn out to be true. And maybe it came in the ocean and then like evolved and sprang up from the ocean and came onto the land. That didn't work out. And maybe it was from the clay, and then the clay, it started forming, and then that brought life out. That didn't work out. Or maybe from the crust of the earth. That's where it started. And then, no, that didn't work out either. And then, or maybe something from space came to earth, but that turned out not to work either. Proteins are the building blocks of life. You don't have to be a real deep scientist to know some of that, right? Proteins are the building blocks of life. Now, Lee Strobel, in his book, The Case for Faith, he says, if you took all the carbon in the universe and put it on the face of the earth and allowed it to chemically react at the most rapid rate possible and left it for 1 billion years, the odds of creating just one functional protein molecule would be 1 chance in 10 with 60 zeros after it. Furthermore, one protein molecule is not life. It would have to have at least 200 protein molecules to be considered, at best, a very small living organism. And furthermore, there's a chicken, I know they're cute, right? There's a chicken and egg issue. So the constant question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Now, that's not the point of this statement, but I think it helps us to understand the issue here. See, proteins are generated in cell factories called ribosomes. But guess what? Ribosomes are composed of proteins. Now, if we're looking at a macro-evolutionary way of thinking of how things came, which one came first? See, you can't have one evolve to the other because the other one's necessary for the other one to exist. So if they're not all there at the beginning, there's none of them are there. So, in other words, you need proteins composed of DNA in order to produce proteins composed of DNA. You can't ask which came first. It would be like this. If someone says, I'm going to be the person to invent the first hammer. And then you say, well, how are you going to do it? I'm going to use a hammer. What? How? How are you going to do that? You just said you're going to be the first.